Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be making a simple soup with meatballs. It's called soup frikadelkami from where I'm from. But it is simple to make and it is so good and so filling and also very light. So let's get started. Today we will need about a pound of ground pork, about 3 or 4 potatoes depending on the size, 1 large carrot, half an onion, 1 egg. We're going to need salt, pepper, garlic powder, dill, 2 bay leaves. I am using about half a cup of breadcrumbs today. I'm going to be using mayo. And I have pasta here. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. But the soup is really good with some form of very light pasta for soup. And this is the one I'm using, and I honestly do not even know what it's called. So it's just almost like angel hair pasta, which I have used before, and it is so good. So let us get started. Okay, so I've peeled my potatoes, and I'm starting on cutting them in about these sizes. I'm just kind of cubing it. I have little kids, so this makes it easier for them to eat. I have put a large pot of water onto the stove already and tossed my bay leaves in there. And we're just going to wait for that to come to a boil. And while that happens, I am going to prep everything. Next, we are going to dice our onion and shred our carrot for the soup. And this is where the lightness of the soup comes in. I sauté my onions and my carrots before I toss them into my pot of boiling water. If you don't want to sauté them, you don't have to. You can just toss them in fresh, and it makes your soup just taste lighter. And now we are ready to saute our veggies. Okay, let's saute them. One thing I forgot to mention, we're going to need olive oil. So let's get some olive oil in there. And let's get to sauteing our veggies. And here comes the hardest part of the entire process, prepping our pork, which is actually really, really simple. So what we are going to need is our pork, our egg. Just gonna break our egg right in there And we're gonna need some salt. I am not even gonna measure this out. I'm just gonna say that this will approximately be half a teaspoon, maybe, to taste. Basically just to taste. Some pepper, some garlic powder, and half a teaspoon. Let's add, I don't know, 2 teaspoons of mayo. 2 teaspoons of mayo. And let's add all of our breadcrumbs right away. Why not? And then you mix, mix, mix. Okay, our water is boiling and we are going to add in salt. Depends on how much water you have in your soup. And some pepper. We like pepper. And we are going to add in our pork. So let me show you a little trick of how I make little tiny meatballs really quickly. Okay? So you grab some pork, like a handful of pork, okay? And you're going to start squeezing it. And as it comes out, you just grab it and you toss it into your soup, okay? You squeeze, a little bit comes out and you toss it into your soup. They don't have to be perfect, cute little circles or round little balls. Nope, just however they come out. They are going to taste so good afterwards. No one's going to care how they look. And this is much faster than rolling every single meatball individually because, I mean, who has the time? Come on, let's be realistic. Now you might be thinking, what are you doing? You're boiling literally a pound of meat in a pot. But I promise you this soup is so good and this is gonna go so quickly in our family that this is the reason I make so much. Okay, let's put all the potatoes in because they're small, they're gonna boil fairly quickly. Let's take our carrots and onions that we sauteed earlier. We're gonna toss that in as well. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And voila, our soup is starting to get some color. Okay, as this is slowly starting to come to a boil, I'm going to toss in my pasta. How much? About half a cup, give or take. I'm gonna go with that's pretty good. Now you really don't have to limit yourself with this soup. I made it pretty simple. Easy for beginners right now, but you can add whichever spices you like. I love to experiment in the kitchen. I'm constantly adding in new spices, new meats, and it always turns out pretty dang good. So do not be afraid to experiment. Do not be afraid to add your favorite spices in here. In the meat, it's gonna taste good, I promise you. Okay, last but not the very least step, we're gonna add our dill. I love dill in soup. It completely changes the flavor of the soup. Oh, and the look of the soup, look at that. Doesn't that look so refreshing? So good. That's it, you're done. Your soup is complete. Delicious, simple, and so good. Let's have a try.